Al McGhee with YETicket.com. I'm here with two of the best critics in America, and they also members of the African American Film Critics Association. And we're here to talk about the top 10 Black movies for 2020. First, let me introduce you to Ronda Penrice. How you doing, lovely lady?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. And the real critic, Reggie Ponder.
I'm here, man. Glad to be here. Thanks for having us. I like the fact that we got this, at least the Chicago roots here. We can just say it, Chicago roots.
Oh, that's right. Ron, you from Chicago too, right?
Yes, I am, darling. Born
Yeah,
in Cook County Hospital.
Yeah, huh?
Born in Cook County Hospital.
So was I.
Me too.
Oh,
me too. Got that Cook County love.
I know we sure do. Wow. Wow. Well, you know, to me this year, there was a lot of good films in 2020. A lot of great films, but I feel there's a lot of Black films too that was in 2022. So, Ronda, let's start with you. Let's give us your list of the top 10 Black films that you feel were excellent and that's on your list.
Okay, well, I had to write my list down. Becoming by Nadia Hallgren, which is about our fellow Chicagoan Michelle Obama. Miss Juneteenth from Channing Godfrey Peoples. Excellent performance by Nicole Beharie. The 40-year-old version from our girl Rada Blank. Funny, everything, loved it. Farewell Amour, Ekwa Msangi. Love this film that is just a different look at the African immigrant experience in the United States. Love it. Cuties, Mignonnes, which is by Mamanya Ducory from France, that people were trying to shut Netflix down over, but brought incredible and much needed attention to how like young girls are being hypersexualized. Loved it. You know, Gina Prince Bythewood in the 20th anniversary of her debut film, Love and Basketball, came hard with the old guard. Just absolutely enjoyed that. Seeing people kick butt, and it was great. I love the Highlander type people. Wow. And of course, Maharani'S Black Bottom. You know, you can't say enough about Viola Chadwick and Glenn Turman. Oh my God. Love Toledo. One Night in Miami, of course, like, you know, I just think, I think Kingsley Ben-Adir's portrait of Malcolm X is one of the best that I've seen next to Denzel's. I just can't say enough about it. And Eli Gorey just does an amazing job capturing Cassius Clay, you know, not Muhammad Ali, but Cassius. Now, how many of those are there?
I counted 8.
8. Oh yeah, I like His House, Reginald Weeks. I really, really dug the visuals of that and the deep, deep story of what you're really losing when you have to leave your country, and to make it into a horror film, I thought was just really, really a great move. And I also really liked the documentary All In, because I thought that in this pivotal year, it was very important for people to really, you know, hear from Stacey Abrams, something that she participated in, to show what voter suppression looks like and how we can combat that. So I just thought that was a very important documentary.
Hey, Al, I'm gonna get off, man. I'm gonna get off because Rhonda just killed it.
Well, let's hear what you got.
I can't even. That was Rhonda.
Go ahead.
Hey, before we get off, Rhonda, where can people find your work?
Oh, my work is everywhere. You can find me on Essence.com, on Zora. I mean, Gil would kill me if I didn't say Kaleidoscope. Just all over the place. The easiest thing is just follow me on social, Twitter and Instagram at RONDA RACHA.
And you do a great job on social media. That's where I see you. A lot of your work and things like that.
She really does.
She's everywhere.
She does kill it, and I've had the opportunity to talk to her a lot about just movies, and I love talking to her because she's so thoughtful in how she looks at film. And I'm so glad, Rhonda, that you had on your list two films that I had only had my top 10, I mean my top 8, and you helped me round out my top 10. I'm just gonna tell it right here, be transparent, because there were
Go ahead.
films. There's two films that you had in your list that I had to add on mine, and that's His House. It is the way in which they took this really, really tough and serious issue and took all that trauma and put it in this horror genre was very, very well done. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And then the other one was All In. I'm telling you which ones I added, and the reason.
But that's a great documentary.
The reason for All In is that Stacey Abrams might as well just go ahead and get a Nobel Peace Prize. She might as well get this woman.
No, she might as well become the governor of Georgia.
That as well. But you know, she might actually be the president of the United States, as bad as this woman is. A bad woman. So I'm really glad
she's a Mississippian, which is my roots as well.
Mine too. My
mama.
My mama from Port Gibson, Mississippi.
Okay, that's Stacey Abrams. That's not far because she's from Gulfport.
And so your people?
No, my family's from Brookhaven.
That's what I was asking.
My people from Laurel, Mississippi.
Oh, Laurel, okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Laurel, the home of Leontine Price.
That's right.
Ooh, she be knowing. I tell you, Rhonda she knows this stuff. So
right?
Here are my 8 that I had to add my 2 to, which I really appreciate. So One Night in Miami, and this is not in any order for me, because it is hard to try to put these in order of best. But One Night in Miami, and I think that we'd be remiss not to mention Aldous Hodge's performance in this film. I agree with you about the performance from Malcolm X, but I think this might be I think this might be Aldous Hodge's best work. He crushed it in this one. Miss Juneteenth is one of my favorites, and I can't even put in words in many ways of why, but I think that from a direction standpoint, from a story standpoint, from an execution standpoint, this all came together and it works to me just fantastically. And the fact there's so much in that. And I say the same thing for that with the 40-year-old version. Oh my goodness, to take a story like this and to be able to bring it to life. And this is not pretty girl. This is like a regular, ordinary. I'm feeling this movie a lot.
A regular, ordinary older woman.
Older
woman.
I'm really feeling this, and the way it was written. I have in here the 5 Bloods. I think that the I can't say it was his best performance, but Delroy Lindo.
Oh my gosh, it might be his best though.
It's tough. It's tough. Thank you, Rhonda. It's tough to say, but he
brought it to the film.
He really brought it to the film.
He sure did.
And I mean, it was really good. And then there's the ensemble cast. One of the things I like, Rhonda, and we've talked about this before, is that the ensemble cast, when you look at One Night in Miami, I think that they could be rivaled with the ensemble cast in the 5 Bloods. I think
that's a great point.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that film was very emotional for me too.
Yeah, it was. Then Lovers Rock for me was. It's on my list. The way they capture that, the way they capture the life, the music, the culture. I felt like that could have been one of the house parties in Chicago. I just
exactly that's the way. I didn't feel like it was in England. I didn't feel it was Jamaican. I felt like I could be there. I have been there.
And then when they did that kung fu fighting,
right. I felt like I could be there. And then I love Mangrove.
Yes.
It really spoke to me. I was on every word. And then when they asked the question in this movie to Letitia Wright, why? And she says, for my children, I was like, see, girl, I'm feeling you. I felt that movie, and I felt that a lot.
Yep.
I had the old guard in here myself as well. So I like that. And then I'm going to end it with, I think I've mentioned all my movies, right? I'm going to end it with Sylvie's Love.
Oh yes,
Oh,
oh yes.
wow.
Oh, so much to choose from.
Yeah, it is.
Sylvie's Love for me. Our colleague told me to watch this movie, and Katia Woods, she said to watch this movie, and she said watch it with your wife, Reggie. You're gonna really love it. And it was so nostalgic to go back and to really to see a real love story, but a love story that had all kind of blemishes, but not the kind of mess that we're used to seeing with love stories. So that's my list.
Oh man,
Great one.
that's a great list, man. And you got some things on there that I have, and both of you guys have a great list. And again, you see all the assortment of these African American films that's available for 2020. Well, let me go to my list. Let me start off with number 10. Number 10 is Hamilton. People argue with me. It's not a film.
Good
I
one.
argue with
Good
them.
one.
It is a film. They filmed it, right? So I said, that's the way I look at it. And with the original cast too. And I've seen Hamilton with the original cast live and other cast members. The original cast make it. And number 9, Sylvie's Love. And I feel that the director, though, Eugene Ash, really did a great job. But Tessa Thompson, how expressive was she with her eyes when she looked at her husband and her boyfriend and things like that. I love Tessa Thompson. I think she's a great actress.
Oh, her husband and her boyfriend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, she had both.
And the dialogue when he told her, "I did it because I loved you." Oh, I broke down on the floor.
If I may,
I said
Al,
those words before like that.
if I may, Al, I just want to say that everything, this Sylvie's Love was great movie making, just all the way around.
Yeah.
When you look at the costumings, the set,
Mhm.
and the music of this, I just felt that it was great filmmaking.
Oh, the
Yeah,
music
sure.
was amazing.
It
And you start
was.
off with Nancy Wilson, like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh, just incredible. How
It
rich.
was. All right, number 8 is Miss Juneteenth. I love that film. Also, I got a chance to interview Alexis from the film too, and she talked about it. But Miss
yes.
Juneteenth really captured me because, one thing, I learned more about Juneteenth. And, coming from Chicago, I didn't know a lot about that when I was young, about Juneteenth, anything like that. But, over the years, I started learning about it and reading about it. But this film really brought more of it to me, and I learned more about it. And I love the way that the director, Channing Godfrey Peoples, Channing Godfrey Peoples directed Nicole Beharie. And Nicole Beharie, we got to look out for her because she's going to be a great actress if she get the right role. I'll tell you, she's a great actress.
She was a fantastic American Pie that people forget.
Yeah.
Say that again, Rhonda, because
you was breaking up.
She was fantastic in American Pie that people forget.
Yeah, she was. And number 7 is The Five Bloods, Spike Lee. We can say a lot about this, but I tell you, I felt that Clark Peters is one of the best actors around. He doesn't get a lot of credit. He's been on TV a lot, but here in The Five Bloods, he really held that part together. And number 6, The Banker. Now that's on Apple Plus, but with Samuel Jackson and Anthony Mackie. That told a story again I didn't know anything about, but they're acting as actors and playing those parts. I was thrilled about that. Number 5 is Soul, the cartoon, the animation. And I really enjoyed Soul. And it really had a black cast. And I will admit that Soul was a very, very good cartoon. Even though it is by Disney, but it still had a black cast, Jamie Foxx, jazz music in the background. I felt Soul was very good.
Oh, one of the consultants whom I love is Terry Lynn Carrington.
Yeah.
Who a lot of people remember from the Arsenio Hall show.
Exactly. And number 4 for me, the documentary Mlk Fbi Director.
Oh my goodness, you're right. But technically, did that come out in 2020?
You know what? I thought it did earlier, but you're absolutely right. Technically, did it come out in 2020?
I don't think so, and I don't think people would be able to see it. Like some of these
It's
things,
out
like,
today.
It's out
I don't
today.
know when you're going to post this,
Right.
but January 15th, Martin Luther King's actual birthday. The release date for MLK.
Yeah, it came out today. Well, number 3 is Maharani'S Black Bottom. That's my third one. And, you know, George C. Wolfe now finally directed a play and turned it into a film. He finally did an excellent job with this. Well, because he was very, very familiar with the script and also the story. And not only that, familiar with the actors that he put in this film. Not only that, Chadwick Boseman, I'm going to miss him. And he did a great job with this.
Oh my gosh.
I think that Chad, go ahead, Rhonda, I want you to say.
No, I was just co-signing. Just incredible.
I think that Chadwick was incredible, and the ensemble cast. It is tough to say that Coleman Domingo didn't kill it.
Oh, he did.
Coleman
I love Coleman
great.
Domingo. I love that guy.
It's tough to say Glenn Turman didn't kill it.
I love Toledo.
It's tough to say that Viola Davis didn't kill it. I'm just saying this is.
And let's give a shout out to the boy that kept on stuttering though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think I think that was some acting there now.
Like Reggie said, the whole ensemble.
Right. I absolutely.
And number 2 is One Night in Miami. Regina King. This is our first attempt at directing. She did an excellent job.
Feature film. She's
feature film and came out in 2020. But I'm more impressed with Leslie Odom in this. I mean, I'm impressed with all the other ones too, but Leslie Odom as Sam Cooke, man, I always enjoyed his work. But I think the role he played as Sam Cooke really made you believe he was Sam Cooke. And then I heard on the internet, some people want him to play Sam Cooke, you know, make a movie out of it. Make a movie and have him as Sam Cooke. I just read some things like that on
that documentary is really good. I wouldn't mind that documentary being scripted put on the big film.
And the way he died, shot in the parking lot.
Well, what's crazy is my great aunt, I found out only a few years ago that Sam Cooke was her first cousin. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
So that's your cousin too?
No, she's my great aunt through marriage. So.
Oh.
I wish.
I know, right?
But we can claim the Staples singers, though. They're part of our.
He's still your cousin. All right, my number 1 is Small Axe. Small Axe, that's my number 1. And I'm putting all 5 features together, and that's the way it is anyway. Small Axe, that's my number 1 best Black film of 2020. And the combination of all 5 films, as you all mentioned.
That's the Powerball.
So Al, this is your show, but I'm gonna say, man, you can't do that.
Can't do what?
Put all 5 films.
But that's how it is.
I hear you.
That's the way they're trying to sell it.
That's why they're selling it. They sold it to me like that.
I hear you. To me, since you invited me, I'm just gonna give you my 2 cents.
No, go ahead. I love having a discussion.
I think that it's a disservice to those individual pieces of work. I don't care how that's Amazon. I don't care how Amazon is trying to sell it. Is that Mangrove can stand on its own? And it has nothing to do with Lovers Rock. Nothing.
Yes.
So the fact that they're saying it's a series or it's a limited series,
but that's the way Steve McQueen directed it, and that's the way he wrote it, and that's the way he wanted it. All 5 films together.
But they're all standalone films. And
I agree with you.
You say that's the way he wanted it. I'm saying it's disrespectful, and the reason it's disrespectful is because they don't get their own shine. When you glob them together and you look at each one of these individually, the mastery by which they are is that when we go years down the road to start to look at these stuff and talk about it, we're not going to talk about them as 5 pieces of film. We're going to talk about them each individually, and they each do their job. So I understand why why people are doing it, because it was presented as an overall package. But I do think that it minimizes the grandeur of the work that was done for these individuals.
For each individual film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to co-sign that because the
Yeah.
only thing that really binds them is they're Black and British, but they're all delving into different aspects of the Black British experience, in
Exactly.
particular with racism and discrimination.
But that's why I
But
picked
with
it. though.
Lovers Rock, we don't really see as much.
So you lucky. That means you get 14 films. So since you got since you end up getting 14, can I just mention two others?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, and because I know Rhonda's gonna mention something after I mention these two others. Is one of my favorite films this year is Giving Voice.
Oh yes! Oh my God! Yes.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It touched my heart so much. I cried. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it now. I cried. Giving Voice is the competition, the oratory competition for
August Wilson.
For August Wilson's work. And it is about these young kids coming together from all around the country to do these soliloquies and monologues of his work.
Wow.
And the power, the impact, the majesty of the work, it was just fantastic. I'll stop there. I won't even.
No, how did you see the film?
No,
though?
mention your other one too. But the
other one that I liked.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me about that one.
That I liked Uncorked.
Oh yeah, Uncorked was a cool little movie. I just didn't like the ending of Uncorked.
I'm not saying it was the best, but I liked it for a number of reasons. And if I gave some honorable mention, I'd throw that in there because I like the fact that they had regular family and how it was about striving to do something else and showing us in different ways. And
right.
I thought the acting in it was really good all the way throughout.
I gotta look that one up.
Nash did a good job in that.
I've probably seen it and forgot about it.
Well, yeah, it has Courtney B. Vance in it and Mamadou.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the one in Memphis with the sommelier.
Yeah, but it doesn't rise to Giving Voice for me.
Giving Voice is a really, really strong one.
Giving Voice,
and then
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Giving Voice, you really, through these young people, you really see how timeless August Wilson's work is because the way that it speaks to them and the representation, I mean, these are like high school kids. So you're like, wow, like, I mean, you know it before, but just seeing them and being moved, a lot of them were moved to tears by discovering his work.
They moved me.
And we should also mention the documentary Time from Garrett Bradley, which I think is filmed in such a unique way. I mean, already it's amazing that Fox Rich has so much material for you to work with over her struggle, nearly 20-year struggle to get her husband out of prison. But I like the way that Garrett Bradley filmed it. Like I felt that she wanted to evoke like a Jim Crow, wanted to evoke the period of Jim Crow and make that correlation. So I really enjoyed her filmmaking.
Wow.
So then you make me think of Rhonda, the 40-year-old prisoner.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. It's so much good stuff.
I know. I'll tell you, 2020 had a great deal of African-American films, Black
but particularly
films,
Black
directors,
women.
writers, actors in 2020. And, unfortunately, we couldn't go to the movie theaters, but I wish I could have been at the movies, the theater itself, to see many of these on the huge big screen. Even though I got a 75-inch, it's still not the same.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of these films would not have been seen if we had to go to the movie theaters. If it was business per usual, they would have been in very limited release. Some of the films would have just only been seen in New York and LA. So because of, the disruption of COVID, we got to see films that we would normally not get to see and enjoy.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wrote a like roundup for Essence. And so one of the biggest things of the year was Black women directors. I don't think that we've seen this many ever.
I am
Like,
so happy. Thank
In
you
one
so
year.
much. Thank
In
you.
one
yeah, in 1 year, like literally,
year.
there's a Black woman who had a film. If there's a month that was skipped, but I think every month of this year, there was a film by a Black woman,
Mhm.
and to have all three Black women sweep all of the directing awards at Sundance was a really big deal to me.
So I want to make one comment to that, Rhonda, is that I know everybody loves the job that Regina King did with One Night in Miami. It was masterful. It was great. It's fantastic. I am, however, giving the edge to Rada
Oh,
for me.
Okay.
I can see if you're a classic film person. I mean, she definitely her
what
filming
Rada
technique.
did with that film for me. Oh my goodness. I was like, how did you make this kind? It's a quirky kind of film too.
Yeah,
Very
it is.
quirky.
It is. Yeah,
How did you make this quirky kind of film work with all the little pieces that she threw in there, like the guy on the street and the woman talk? I mean,
Yeah, it's a mesh of filmmaking that you don't see because she has kind of that, man and woman on the street. That's like more like a documentary guerrilla style technique, and then she's matching it with these more classic, almost when people used to shoot on Super 8 and Super 16, like, she is meshing a whole bunch of styles, and somehow it works. And when you tell people, because when they read the description, they don't think they want to see it. But I have not recommended this film to one person who has seen it who didn't like it.
Yeah.
I
me
did
too.
not want to see this. I mean, it was,
Oh, you're one of them. So you're a witness.
I'm like, this is not a movie. This doesn't even sound like it's something I want to see.
But also,
Was
we
good.
still got some great films from people like Spike Lee also. And
Oh yes,
other
Spike Lee.
Black directors too. Well, look, I'm running out of time. We can talk about this more and more, but thank you for coming. I really appreciate it that we got a chance to talk about Black films from 2020. And in the future, we'll talk about more here at yeticket.com or on your channel. Just invite me. I'll definitely show up. And thank you, Rhonda. And thank you, Reggie. I really appreciate it. And please be safe and be careful out there, because I just went on Facebook and 3 people that I know or knew died of this COVID. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is